أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها صدق الله العلي العظيم.
على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بازار شام ہے بازار شام ہے بازار شام ہے بازار شام ہے مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار میری پھوپھی اماں روتی ہیں پہ پردہ لاکھوں کا ہے مجمع لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ
لو آ گیا بازار.
یہ سوچ کے روتا ہوں ماں بہن کھلے سر ہیں کس طرح سے دیکھوں گا جو سامنے منظر ہے نیزے پہ ہے ایک سر روتا ہے جو اکثر کرتا ہے جو نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ
لو آ گیا بازار.
بازو ہے بندے میرے میں کچھ نہیں کر سکتا بوچھر ہے پتھر کی ہم سب ہے رسن بستا ہے خون کا دریا جو سر سے ہے بیٹا ہنستے ہیں یہ آدھا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبہ جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ
لو آ گیا بازار
ہر ایک قدم بابا قرآن سناتے ہیں اور آگ کی پتھر خود چہرے پہ وہ کھاتے ہیں زہرا کا دلارا احمد کا نواسا ہے برسار نیزا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبا جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار پردے کا محافظ اب سر اپنا گراتا ہے خون روتا ہے وہ غازی جب بھی نظر آتا ہے زینب کا کھلا سر اور شام کا منظر سر پہ نہیں پردہ لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبا جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ لو آ گیا بازار اور شمر یہ عابد سے کس فخر سے کہتا ہے پردہ تیری زینب کا نیزے سے اٹھا رہا ہے قوت ہے یہ میری احمد کی نواسی کو شام میں لایا لو آ گیا بازار مظلوم کا کنبا جب شام کو پہنچا عابد کا تھا نوحہ
لو آ گیا بازار
میری پھوپھی اماں روتی ہے بے پردہ لاکھوں کا ہے مجمع لو آ گیا بازار صلوات علی محمد و آل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Salamun alaikum boys. Inshallah you're all well. It is now the month of Safar and time has flown by. Just a few days ago we were commemorating Ashura and the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But Safar is an extremely important month and we remember a lot of personalities. So who remembers the most important dates in the month of Safar? Anybody? I want to see some hands. Yes, Hassan, Ali. Of course, we remember the Holy Prophet who died on the 28th of Safar. And we remember Imam Raza who passed away in Safar. And Imam Hassan alayhi salam who passed away on the 7th of Safar, who we are going to remember today. We don't know much about Imam Hassan. Sometimes we know a lot about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, but sometimes we have forgotten Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So today I would like to talk about some of the amazing akhlaq stories of Imam Hassan alayhi salam and also what the Prophet used to say about Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So once the Holy Prophet said, Hassan and Hussein are the youths of the masters of paradise. What does that mean? Hassan and Hussein are the leaders of the youths of paradise. So if we want to get to heaven, we have to follow a leader, of course. And the leaders of the paradise are Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So if they are kind, we have to be kind. If they are brave, we have to be brave. If they are generous, we have to be generous as well. But remember, Prophet doesn't say only Imam Hussein. He says Hassan and Hussein alayhi salam are the leaders of the youths of paradise. And also we always remember from the mimbar, Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. That's what the Holy Prophet used to say. But did you know that Holy Prophet actually also said, Hassan is from me and I am from Hassan. So we should try and know as much about our Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And today I'm going to give you a few lessons from the life of Imam Hassan and how we can actually follow those examples. So one of the examples of the Imam Hassan is that he used to be really kind to animals and the environment, and used to look after the environment. So there is a beautiful story that one day Imam Hassan alayhi salam was eating food outside, and this dog came in front of him. The dog was looking at him and he was actually really hungry. So Imam Hassan alayhi salam actually gave him some food and the dog ate and started looking at him again. And Imam Hassan started to give him some more food. But there was this man who passed by on the street and started to shoo away the dog. He was saying, "Go away, dog, and don't disturb the Imam. He's having his lunch." But you know what the Imam Hassan told this passerby? He told him that he is a creature of Allah. This dog is a creature of Allah and you should not disturb him. He's just like us. Allah has made him as well. So Imam Hassan was actually really kind to animals. But you know what? We also have some more kind of examples from the Holy Prophet about kindness to animals. So there is one nice story that one day Prophet went to his friend's house, and when he entered the house, there was a garden, and in the garden there was a hen. But this hen was actually by itself. And the Prophet, the first thing he did was he asked his friend, "Is this hen alone by itself, or does it have company?" And the man said, "No, this hen is alone the whole day in the garden." And you know what the Prophet told him? "Go to the market tomorrow and buy another hen so that he has company. And you should keep 2 hens in the house so they have a company." So imagine the Holy Prophet is thinking about the hen and looking after the hen. So on another occasion, we have a story that the Holy Prophet was eating dates and the sheep came in front of him. The sheep was looking at him, so the Prophet used to eat the dates, and then the pits, he used to give it to the sheep who was sucking on those pits. So you know what? There are some really nice stories of how the Imams used to look after animals. So what can we do about looking after animals? Are there any examples we can take from the stories? So for example, can we leave some food outside for the birds in the winter? Or for example, some water for them to drink? Or for example, if we go to the parks or we go to the lakes, can we take some bread there and feed the birds or the fish there? You know what? I would be really interested to see if you guys have done anything, and put some comments below of how you've helped animals, and maybe I can take some inspiration from you and learn how we can treat animals. Also, for example, when you're at home and we see these bugs or insects in the house, doesn't mean we just go and crush it and kill them. Of course not. We should try and take it outside so they are living in their own environments. So it'd be really nice, boys, if you can put some comments below and see how we can treat animals. The second lesson I want to talk about is how Imam Hassan used to entertain guests and look after the poor. So, we always talk in Islam about giving money to the poor, but today I want to talk about entertaining guests. So again, there is a really nice story that once a stranger was walking in Kufa and he had got lost. And so he saw a gardener and he asked the gardener for some directions. So the gardener gave the directions, and then he offered him some food to sit down and eat some food with him. So the gardener and the man were eating some food, and there was some bread there. So this man, he tried to eat the bread, but it was actually really hard. He tried to break it with his knee, but he couldn't break it. He put some water in it, but still the bread was really hard. And this gardener, when he saw the man was struggling, he said, "You know what? Why don't you go to the guest house of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, which is down the road. You will get some really nice free hot meal there." So Imam Hassan had a guest house, and he told this man, "Go there and have some food there." So this man went there to the guest house, and Imam Hassan actually gave him some free hot meals, and this man was eating there. But you know what he was doing? He was keeping some food on the side, and he was putting some bread in a bag. And Imam Hassan said, "Don't worry, eat as much as you want. You can take some more for your family home." But no, the man said, "You know what? I don't want to take it to my family. I don't have anyone. But I'm taking this bread to the gardener who was giving me some directions." And Imam Hassan smiled at him and said, "You know what? That gardener is actually my father, Imam Ali alayhi salam. And he is going to eat hard bread because he doesn't want to embarrass the poor and eat any good food, because he is the leader of the Muslims. So he'll always eat hard bread." Imagine how beautiful that is, that the Imam is thinking about the poor when he's eating his food. So we can maybe take examples, but you know what we can take an example is that Imam Ali invited him for food even if he had some hard bread. He wasn't embarrassed. He told him sit and eat with him in the garden. So how about us, and how do we kind of take lesson from this? So Islam tells us to do things together. So for example, we are told to go and pray Jamaat Namaz together, or we are told to break our fast together. Even when you go for Hajj, 2 million people go together for Hajj. We don't go alone. It's not just us. It's about 2 million people. So we are told to do things together in Islam. So even when you want to entertain guests at home, that is a very, very nice thing to do. There is a really beautiful story that one day Imam Ali alayhi salam was extremely sad. And people asked him, why are you so sad today? You know what he replied? He said, I haven't had a guest at home for 7 days. Yeah, so he was really concerned about not having a guest and he wanted someone home for dinner. How about Prophet Ibrahim? Remember when he was standing outside the house waiting for someone to pass by so that he could entertain him and come home for dinner. So what does Islam tell us about entertaining guests? The Holy Prophet actually tells a really nice thing. He said when someone comes home to your eat, there's some special blessings and rizq come with him. So when the person enters the house, this special blessing and rizq comes inside the house. But not only that, when he leaves the house, that he takes away all the sins of the person who invited him. So imagine if you invited, for example, your cousin or your friends home for dinner, and when they left, they are taking away the sins and the sins are getting forgiven. What a beautiful thing. And does that mean that when we invite friends at home that we should have some really nice food and about 3-4 dishes, and we tell our mom and dad, can you cook this and can you cook that? Not at all. Actually, there is another story that once a man came to Imam Ali alayhi salam and said, you know what, Imam, please come home for dinner today. Imam said, I'll come home for dinner, but there's 3 conditions. The first condition is, when you invite me, don't bring any special food from outside. The second condition is, don't keep any special food for me at home. And thirdly, don't make it hard for your family to cook meals for me. Just make it a simple meal. So Islam is telling us, come, let's invite our friends for dinner, our guests for our friends, cousins for dinner, but don't make it hard for ourselves when we invite them. Imagine the blessings we will get when we invite them for food. You know what, boys and girls, it would be really nice if you can put some comment on who you would invite for dinner and what simple food you will cook for them. Actually, you know what, I have a special person I want to invite, and I'm actually going to put a comment below so you can check my comment below and what I'll prepare for them. The final story we want to learn from Imam Hassan, and this I had to mention this because such a beautiful story, is how to control our anger and be patient. Sometimes when you're playing football or you're playing sports, we get so angry, or sometimes in school when we're trying to debate and we're trying to get a bit argumentative when we want to argue and fight. But when we look at this story of Imam Hassan, we learn how to control our anger and be patient. So again, this story is about a person who was from Sham. He was a friend of Muawiyah, and he was passing Medina. And when he was a friend of Muawiyah, he had some really bad things about Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So when he saw Imam Hassan one day, he started shouting at him, he started abusing at him, and he told him so many bad things. But what did the Imam do? He just stared at him and listened to him. And when the Imam finished, he asked him, I think you're new here, yeah? You're not from this town, right? If you need anything from me, I'll give it to you. So if you need any food, why don't you come to my house? I'll give you some food. Or if you need any clothes, I'll give you some clothes. Or do you want a place to live here for in Medina? Then I'll take you home and you can be my guest. And when this man from Sham heard this, he got so ashamed and he started crying and said, you know what? I didn't know that you were such a person. Muawiyah has said so many bad things about you, but I know that truly you are an important person and your akhlaq is amazing and I want to be your friend. So again, from this story, we can take example of being patient and not to be angry. And even when someone is talking, we don't straight away reply, but we just listen and we listen, because when you're listening, you are thinking about what to say. So you don't react straight away, but we listen, which Imam Hassan did. Imam Hassan was living in Medina and Muawiyah was in Sham, and they signed a peace treaty. But Imam Hassan was living his own lifestyle there. But Muawiyah was really angry with Imam, and he decided to poison Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So what did he do? He told one of the wives of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, whose name was Joda, to give him some poison. So this Joda bin Ashas gave some poison to Imam, and he drank the poison which was in water, and he felt really sick, and the poison was so hard on him that he was extremely sick, and then he passed away in Safar on the 7th of Safar. The Imam was only 48 years of age, and he was buried in Jannatul Baqi. But just before the Imam was being buried, Imam Hussein wanted to take the body to the Prophet's grave to pay some respects. But when they tried to take the body just to pay respects to the Prophet's grave, the Bani Umayyad started to stop this and they wanted to have a fight there. But Imam Hussein said, no, we don't have a fight here. And then they decided to take the body straight to Jannatul Baqi where he was buried. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we get a chance to go to Jannatul Baqi, but not only go to Jannatul Baqi, but we actually pay our respects just like we pay our respects in Karbala, where we can go near the grave and touch the grave and pay our respects, because at the moment in Jannatul Baqi we cannot do that. So we pray to Allah for us to grant that. But before I end, I would like to just, because it's the days of mourning, to remember Karbala. And normally I want to remember today is the sons of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. So you know what, we always remember Qasim on the 7th of Muharram. Of course, Qasim was the son of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. But did you know that there were actually 3 sons in Karbala of Imam Hassan alayhi salam? The other son was Abu Bakr and Abdullah. So Abu Bakr was actually 35 years old in Karbala, and he was martyred when fighting, and Abdullah was also martyred. But let me tell you something about Abdullah. This boy Abdullah, they say that he was one of the youngest to be killed after Ali Asghar. So they say that on the day of Ashura, when he ran from the ladies' tent to go and help Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and he was shouting, "Oh uncle, I will not leave you alone. Oh uncle, I will not leave you alone." And when he was going to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, an enemy came and struck his arm with a sword. And when he reached Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he said, "Oh uncle, oh uncle." But Imam Hussein said, be patient, soon you'll be with your grandfathers. And he was martyred and died there. Wa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Hassan, Ya Hassan, Ya Hassan, Ya Hassan, Ya Hassan, Ya Hassan. اے روح مصطفیٰ ہے تو، اے روح مصطفیٰ ہے تو، اے جان سیدہ یا حسن، 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 یا حسن. صبت رسول دوسرا تم تو ہو مجتبی، صبت رسول دوسرا تم تو ہو مجتبی. نانا کی طرح تو نبی، نانا کی طرح تو نبی، دی کو بچا لیا. یا حسن، 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 یا حسن. ٹکڑے جگر نکل گئے تا زہر کا سر، ٹکڑے جگر نکل گئے تا زہر کا سر. یہ دیکھ کے شبیر کا، یہ دیکھ کے شبیر کا دل خون رو پڑا. یا حسن، 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 یا حسن. کیسے لے آئی لاش کو مظلوم چل دیے، کیسے لے آئی لاش کو مظلوم چل دیے. سب سے کعبہ پہ تیر ہے، سب سے کعبہ پہ تیر ہے، زینب ہے بے خبر. یا حسن، 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 یا حسن. پہلا جنازہ تھا وہ جو لوٹ کے آیا جنازہ تھا وہ جو لوٹ کے آیا گھر خوب بہتا تھا کفن سے خوب بہتا تھا کفن سے کہ جب کیا یہ ہو گیا یا حسن 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 جنت کی شہزادی تربت میں ہے بے چین جنت کی شہزادی تربت میں ہے بے چین دونوں جگر پہ تیر چلا دونوں جگر پہ تیر چلا یثرب و کربلا یا حسن 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 اے روح مصطفیٰ ہے تو اے روح مصطفیٰ ہے تو اے جان سیدہ یا حسن یا حسن یا حسن یا حسن یا حسن یا حسن یا حسن